Each one, reach one. And when you reach one, teach. That's that mind elevation.
Rich people
Again,
cringe
it's
and
like
say don't.
we live in a world where we're taught to hate ourselves constantly. So it's like it's really hard, but it's like every single thing I think that you think about yourself and others and how you react to things, what you choose to think about, what you spend time talking about. It's like I think it all plays a part somehow. Manifestation, like if we're going really there. But my mom always taught me that if I want something, it can happen. Like it's absolutely possible, and to never act like it's not. And I think in a way that's kind of manifestation. It's like you think about it like it's already there, and it is. But I was taught that since I'm 4 years old. I was 4 years old and they called 411 to ask the lady who worked at the front desk at Universal if I could audition for all that, you know? And then I was on Nickelodeon. That was like my first, you know.
Yes, it is true.
I do think it's real because I think that that's how I'm here at all.
Oprah, you're on my vision board for 2018.
Really?
And I am here, so I have manifested this moment.
Congratulations.
Do you even have a vision board? And if so, what type of things are on it?
Wow.
I don't vision board anymore because I am a powerful manifester, and I know that, and I know how to do it without physically putting it on a board. You have to meet the vibration. You can't be above or below it. It's just what I was talking about, negative energy, positive energy. In order to draw the thing to you that you want to come, you can't want it so much that you fear that you won't get it. You have to want it. So in order for me to be on your vision board, you must have put it there and then you let it go.
Yes.
And then you weren't thinking about it every day. Because it doesn't come to you that way. You have to do it, and then you have to put it, and then you have to meet that vibration. You have to prepare yourself to be there and ready when it shows up, and you were.
Interesting.
In the documentary, there's a scene where, the cameras came into my condo and I have this book of manifestations, and whatever it is, from like I sing high with no tension to my single went #1 to I sold out the Rogers Center, which is the stadium back home. All that stuff, right? Which is amazing. Then I realized nothing in there said, I feel calm and happy in my body. I love myself. I am the best version of nothing. And that was so funny because I found myself at this very high level of success, but very low level of internal success. And it's just like such an important thing because I think it gets romanticized to be like, I will be the greatest. I will be the biggest artist in the world. I will sell at the stadiums, And it is magical, and there's nothing on this earth like that. But what needs to be more romanticized is that I love me, because that is what's really gonna save you.
When I first moved to Los Angeles 15 years ago, I took an acting class. They made us watch The Secret. I don't know if you remember that. It's like you manifest the things you want in your life.
Of course. Rhonda Byrne.
That's right.
Yes.
I made a vision board. It was a house, a horse, and Ellen. I don't know what I wanted from you exactly.
Was it my name or a picture of me?
No, it was you.
A picture of me.
A picture of you on a red carpet that I cut out of a magazine.
So, did you get the house and horse?
I have the house and the horse, and here I am.
Oh man, it worked. It worked.
I don't know. It all came together. It has always been my dream to be on your show.
I pulled over and I called my mother,
And
I told her that I got this film. And you know what my mom told me? There's this turtle that used to be there in my living room. I think it's some feng shui thing. You just open the turtle and you put like a wish inside that turtle and you shut it. And when your wish comes true, you take it out. So she never told me about this. But when she came down, after she heard that I've got the film, she opened that and she showed it to me and she'd written it there. I hope my daughter stars in a Yash Raj film. I swear. It's unbelievable. So I think somewhere she always wanted me to be an actress. What are you saying? She'd said that she'd written this long ago. Like one thing for my brother, one thing for me.
Has the brother's thing come true as well? Can I write something in that turtle?
You have to make my mom write it.
Okay.
She's some direct contact with God.
Just remembered, before we made any songs together, Finney said this, and it was kind of as a joke. We were talking about like making music, like we were like, what if we made music together? And he goes, I'm gonna make you the biggest pop star in the world. And I was like, haha, like we laughed.
When was this? How long ago was this?
2015, the beginning of 2015.
That's crazy. What does it feel like now? You're in this house, you're sitting there, like you say, you hear these songs being recorded and made, and then now you sit in these arenas.
Because the whole experience is so crazy, you know? I mean, for a while they'd write these songs and I'd be like, when is it going to come out? Because everyone in the world has to hear it. And now everybody hears it, and I had a dream.
Is it true that you run on a treadmill with a big picture of an Academy Award in front of it?
I do, but it's not right in front of the treadmill. It's over in the corner somewhere, just so it's in the back of my mind.
Not quite the back, I'll bet. I bet it's a little closer than the very back of your mind.
Well, it's getting closer.
Where does
you want to do, anything you've ever said, there's no way I'll be able to do that. Now you're just doing it, right?
Well, I will say that the cover of Sports Illustrated and the cover of Vogue were on my vision board.
Really?
Yes.
You made vision boards?
Yes, that's my whole message. You know, speak what you want. Make it your truth, and it will come true. It took me 2 years. It took the vision board that I still have up 2 years. And that doesn't matter because patience will bring you so much more. You can't hurry things up. You know, it's not our timing. So at the end of the day, this was all supposed to happen with patience.
I love it. I love it for you too.
Thank you.
Because you know, people talk about, I hope she doesn't get a big head. I hope she doesn't change. I hope she doesn't. But you don't strike me as the kind of person.
My mama wouldn't let me. My husband would be like, "Who do you think you are?" Hey. So no,
I remember thinking like, wow, that's the kind of guy I wish I could marry. He's so amazing.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't until a few months down the line where I decided to become celibate. I started telling friends and family that he was my husband. Everyone's like, and you sound crazy.
Now, we had not started dating.
We had not started dating.
You didn't know any of it?
None of it.
So you manifested this?
Yeah. But everything was like confirmation.
You called it in.
It was hearing it,
sure did.
so then I started speaking it, so then I started, you know, shamelessly telling it, and then eventually people started coming up to me and saying stuff.
10 years ago, you were making YouTube videos in your parents' basement. Now you have a late night show. I mean, that's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you.
I mean, you must have envisioned this, right? If you have a vision board, you must have seen this happening.
Yes, well, being on the show has been on my vision board for 5 years, legitimately. And my fans were so keen on it as well that they've actually photoshopped many pictures of us together. And so people think I've already been on the show because they're so good at Photoshop, but I haven't. This is my first time. And my mom always told me, she was like, Lily, no matter what you do in life, no matter what movie, no matter what TV show, I do not care unless you get to go on Ellen's show. Like, it is the marker of success for my mom, and she made me promise that if I ever go on your show, I have to bring her to the set.
All right,
which means you have to invite me back.
Yes, I will invite you back. As soon as we're able to have people in this studio, you're our first guest back.
Life, and it's really, I call it the life of your dream. You know, your dream has a reality that most people kind of separate from their present, but I like to say that my dream is my now. The first coat and the first law of shedding is empowering your inner self. You know, is a gift that is not given by man. So what you just have to really improve is your inner image opposed to your outer one. My method of combating moping is basically staying grounded and making sure and remembering that I'm really the one that's steering my ship. It's not a movie. It's not people, but I'm the one that's controlling my joy and happiness.
Everything we do in life, sex, first dates, food, everything, we imagine it before it happens. Everything. Like even this interview, you imagined how it was gonna go before it happened. Even I did. Like what you're gonna wear, you subconsciously think about everything. The biggest thing I've learned that I cannot tell you what difference, the difference it made in my life. To not trust my instincts but act on them. Changed my life. We spend so much time convincing ourselves that something's wrong, but not acting on changing it. Nah, I'm moving away from that. I'm saying no to that. I don't feel right with that. But the power of no and the power of trusting your gut and acting on it is scary. It's really scary, but it's so empowering. And when I started doing that, that's when I saw the most change.
On the Willoughbys, this movie on Netflix is like the #1 movie in every country all over the world. It's like the biggest thing in the world, and it's like everyone loves it. But the best part, I think, is how you got this movie.
Oh, we have to talk about that. This is,
I mean, please. I mean, so what? This is what, 2017 you were on our show?
2017, yes. It was, I think, only the second time I was on the show. And we were talking about manifesting stuff because I remember I came to the late night set when I was like in drama class, like on a field trip, and I was like, I'm gonna be on the show one day. And I remember telling you that, and you're like, oh my God, we manifested stuff. Like, let's manifest something else. And I was like, I want to be in an animated movie one day. And we like held hands on the desk and wished for it. All right, I would like to voice
a
character in an animated
motion picture
film one day.
Why do you want to be famous?
Well, fame for me is not external, it's internal. So I've been famous for a long time, and I certainly know that my destiny is to be a storyteller in the world and a liberator in the world. So I guess you could say my external fame is a voice. I don't care about what people think of me, I care what they think of themselves. When they come to my shows, my fans aren't sitting there going, oh my God, I love Gaga. They're going, I feel so cool right now that I'm here. It happened around 5 years ago, but it's sort of like a mantra. It's kind of, you repeat it to yourself every day. Music is my life. Music is my life. The fame is inside of me. I'm going to make a #1 record and with #1 hits, and it's not yet. It's a lie. You're saying a lie over and over and over again, and then one day, the lie is true.
How I view it is that it is something that one depends on. Like, I think like I need my refrigerator, I need the clothing on my back, I need shelter, and chanting takes care of that spiritual side, that subconscious mind that I tap into. My reality is God is giving us the faith, but we have to find it, we have to work on it to find the God within us, that, let's say, that coin. And when you chant, when you get into the rhythm, the sound.
Is the chant to God?
It is to the coin, let's say, within us, which is the subconscious mind.
Now, with the way you sing, you must be the #1 Buddhist chanter in the world. If there's a God, he's saying, pray again.
He said he heard me.
Chant again. I mean, you're getting chanting for free, right? The angels are getting you.
Do you believe that you sort of manifested this dream for yourself?
I think so. I think that I have never put any boundaries or limits on myself.
Yeah.
I think I've consistently given myself goals and dreams and gone, okay, that's good. Now what?
I know over lunch you were saying that you run into people all the time who dream too small.
Yeah, yeah, they do. I think, and it's weird having the conversation with these because I think for many people dreaming is whimsical.
Yeah.
And it's a far away, airy-fairy, unearthly thing. But I think it's really grounding, actually. I actually think that to dream, to be very specific about the things that you want in your life, to see them clearly, actually helps to bring them into
Definitely is a choice when it comes to love. I definitely know that I had choices in the last couple years of my life, and I chose to make something good out of something bad. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to choose love. We're supposed to turn things around. And I think that if you do that, the blessings and the rewards are beyond what you could ever imagine. I don't really love giving advice. That's like I'm uncomfortable with that. But I will say from my own past recent experience, definitely making a decision in your mind to choose love and to choose positivity and to choose victory, even when things seem like there's no way it can happen. It can happen.
Some new ones now. How have we hit them? What's going on?
I had goals written down of going #1 first week. I had a vision board in my room with all the things I want this year, and I pretty much got all of them.
That's crazy, right?
You know? I believe in law of attraction a lot, so I'm here.
When we started our syndication, because we own our own radio show, so like here we come into the building, use their studios, but we own the show, and so it's in all these cities. But when we first started it, we only had 2 stations, and I'm like, damn it, like I'm taking a risk. And then we got our first check, and I wrote myself a check, and I still have it. It was for $300, and I still have that thing framed. And I'll just randomly look at it like, oh, that's crazy. Now we're in 40 cities.
Yeah, I literally write my goals like I'll be like, I will have this by this date at this time, and if it doesn't happen on that date at that time, I actually believe it's being realigned to happen at a better and more beneficial
when
time
you're prepared for it.
Yeah, I'm like delusionally positive.
No, that's good. Yeah. I used to be negative. I prepare myself for the absolute worst, but
I don't think that works.
Yeah. No.
My life listeners and first taught me this. You gotta, if you want to achieve something or if you want to do something, you gotta speak it into existence. So like, say you want a car or you want something or you want to be successful or whatever, just keep talking about it. You know what I mean? Just keep on believing in yourself and say, you know what, I'm gonna do this.
When did you first start talking about music and putting that out there and that energy out there?
Well, I mean, I always wanted to make music, you know, from like 7 years ago, you know, whenever I first started playing guitar and everything. So I always wanted to do music, so you just always gotta be confident and always believe in what you do. And you know, one day if you just keep believing in yourself, keep talking about it, and it just pops, you know, fast, and it's overwhelming. But you just gotta stay positive and keep going, and don't let nobody get
What we were doing, you can call it magic, meditation, projection of goal, which business people do. They have courses on it. The footballers do it. They pray, they meditate before the game. They visualize themselves winning. Billie Jean King visualizes every move on the court. What we were doing, we were early pioneers of that movement, which is to project a future which we can have goals which we can reach, right? People project their own future. So what we wanted to do was say, let's imagine a nice future. She's right. The males, like even Aldous Huxley, they wrote these books projecting this horrific big brother, monsters controlled by robots. And even now, I think these people that project the space fantasies I'm saying it's time for the people to get hip to that, man, because they're projecting that.
Your mother raised you simply because times are so different.
I will not raise my daughter differently than my mother raised me. The rearing I got from my mother, words cannot express. I could live in any time, I could live in any country, I could live on any planet, and I would be fine.
What was the key? What did your mother know? What truth was coming through your mother? Daughter.
My mother gave us aphorisms to learn as children. And the one that there are 2 that stand out foremost in my mind. One is the inner reality creates the outer form. I learned this when I was in grade school. I was very young. And the other is the universe bears no ill to me. You're saying, I would teach my daughter to look within herself.
But you gotta just believe everything is for your greatest good. And you believe that shit with your whole soul, 100% is gonna happen for you. I promise you that. And I'm not saying that because I read it in some book. I'm saying that because I'm standing on this stage tonight. I'm from the bottom. And I'm on this stage here tonight doing what I love to do in front of all these beautiful people. And that's because I set my intention. On my first album, I was saying, who's the best MC? Biggie, Jay-Z, and I was telling you I was coming. It's the adventure trip, platinum nigga with the solid gold fade. That nigga with the, I said that. In just 5 years, 40 million more. I'm breaking Def Jam to 100 million. I said that.
I have an insane belief in my own ability to manifest things. Insane belief. You know, that I think it's ultimately complete sanity. But I believe we're creators, and I believe we create with every thought and every word every moment is pregnant with the next moment.
Believer. Yeah, I believe in manifestation. I believe in, you know, putting a rocket of desire out into the universe, and And you get it when you believe it. You get it when you believe you have it. And that's the key, is like people still, they sit around going, when's it gonna come, when's it gonna come, when's it gonna come, when's it gonna come? And that's the wrong way. You're facing the wrong way, you're facing away from it. You have to go, it's here, it's here, it's here.
Did you write yourself a check? I heard
Yeah.
that you did. Is that true?
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years. In 95, I found out that I was going to make $10 million.
Start my day with gratitude, because I think that transcends through the rest of my day. And not that we can control every emotion, but I think if you're just talking about negative stuff to talk about negative stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, shut up already.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting here like, life sucks, life is so unjust, unfair, all these bad things are happening, then oh my gosh, you're just going to attract all this heavy stuff. But if I'm like, okay, that was not the best, but I'm going to figure out why and let me try to move on, and still let me not misdirect my energy. Let me try to be happy. Let me try to still be kind to others as much as you can. And you can still hurt, but you should also heal and then be responsible for your hurting and not channel it to other people. I just feel like sometimes we're really irresponsible with our feelings. When I pray, my prayers are very conversational, and I realize it's kind of how I journal as well. It's more of a conversation, but I'm talking almost to myself.
I'm not reinventing or trying to be something different or trying to trick people into like something new. It's an evolving, right? So when you're talking about a calling or purpose, there's a lot of pressure around it, right? The most important thing is that you have to listen to yourself and the words that you tell yourself, because what you say and what you think, and I tell this to my kids all the time, becomes your reality. If you're telling yourself I'm gonna be this or I'm gonna be that, or you're telling yourself I'm a loser, then you'll be a loser. Whatever it is, you tell yourself that and it will manifest. I really believe that we create our lives, again, not just with our actions and the things we do, but the things we think and the self-talk that we give. Being in this business where people are always trying to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, you really have to have a strong sense of self and gut and instinct and follow that.
Your album didn't even drop yet, and you told me in that interview you would be one of the biggest rappers of all time. You would change the game forever because you were known as a producer. And I always, just from afar, remember that and watched you, like, you really did every single thing that you said you would do. Like, you really spoke every single moment. Your first album wasn't even out yet. You were still known as Kanye, the producer. You're about to prove yourself in the rap game. And it's just crazy that, you really did become it all. You really did.
You just gotta know, you remove, there's certain coaches that don't use words like try, if, want. You just remove those, and, they stay in the church sometimes. Like, if you just plain affirm what you want, the universe is going to bring it around you. You got to know. It's like the biggest thing is, like people say, the devil's greatest trick is make you think you didn't exist. I think the devil's greatest trick is making you think you don't exist.
You have a line on there about looking in the mirror.
So when I was writing that, I was in a room that I had rented off of Craigslist, and I had trouble like finishing the rap. So I was like walking around my room, and I was like, unhappy. But I was like, I knew that this wasn't me. Like, it was just like, it was a phase. So I was looking in the mirror. I mean, it sounds hella corny, but like I was looking in the mirror and I was like, looking in the mirror, I thank God for what I'm about to be. Like, you're not gonna always be this. Like, be thankful for what's to come. Like, cause like people talk about state of mind, law of attraction. So I was like, you need to change your mindset. So I was trying to like speak things into existence, which I did.
Kendrick talks a lot about looking into the mirror and like on a daily basis, like just kind of like just looking into yourself and just figuring out like where you want to do. So when I saw that, I immediately kind of thought
imagination. The driving force behind possibility, the driving force behind innovation, technology, art, poetry, freedom of expression. If somebody said to me that they didn't have imagination, I'd call them a liar flat out, just simply because I think it's a natural driving force behind humans, and without it, we can't grow. If you can't imagine yourself in the future, how do you become anybody? How do you become something that you're not? It's all about exploration of potential, and without imagination, there is no exploration. You're just pretty much running in a circuit. of the same thing over and over and over again until somebody comes along rebelliously and breaks that chain of events and imagines a new world.
You're getting a big award tonight after our show tonight. You are getting the fashion icon of the decade at the...
It's insane, and it's cool because I've worked pretty hard my entire life, but very, very hard the last 4.5 years.
Speech. This is a letter that you wrote to yourself September 2nd, 2010.
Dear me, I am on my freshman retreat right now, and it is really boring. But I met new people, so I guess that's good. I am modeling right now, and I love it. Love is in caps. I am also on a show called Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and we are filming season 5. Soon we will be filming season 6. My goal in life is to become a big-time model and travel to really amazing places. I really hope it happens, smiley face. I'm 14 years old, just thought I would say that, LOL. Oh, I'm so lame. Oh.
I get it.
Oh, and I'm really excited to read this in the future.
That's the best. The best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
You have to take possession of your life.
Is this a thought process that you have to constantly reaffirm, or
yes,
is this cemented in
it's
your
exactly
head?
that. It's exactly that. You drift on this point.
Right.
And it is whatever form of meditation or mantra that you decide to espouse, there needs to be some period in your day where you remember that there's a world out there trying to tell you who you are, and there's a world in here that's trying to tell you who you are. Now, where do you want to put your eggs? So the world will try and tell you who you are, and you have to tell yourself who you are. And there's this ongoing battle. There's essentially only two worlds. There's the inner world of energy, and there's the outer world of energy. There's two identities. One's real, one's false. But that's the dynamic that we're in. And somehow we have to give ourselves enough confidence to reassure ourselves that we are enough.
Well, you know, everything is mental. You have to think about it before you do anything. You know, it has to be a thought first, and good or bad. So your imagination is everything. And, you know, as long as you believe in your imagination, if you believe that in the power of it, and that it's there for a reason, and you can actually, you know, make those things true and make those things tangible. So, but, you know, I think most people have great imaginations, you know.
Albert Einstein said that imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. Your imagination is actually very, very real. Everything you imagine could be a preview to life's coming attraction. Everything we have today came from somebody's imagination. Somebody was talking on the phone with that cord on the wall and got sick of it and said, you know what, man, if I could just go outside and talk on the phone, ta-da, we got cell phones. Somebody got tired of driving across the country and said, man, if I could fly over there, boom, we got airplanes. Imagination is everything. It's a preview to life's coming attractions. Everything you've ever imagined is real. See, I tell young people like this. First of all, this is how your imagination works. It is impossible for you to think an impossible thought. That is impossible.
I'd grown up in a survival mode, clutching tightly to every dollar that came my way. And when you spend from a belief that every cent you earn will be your last, you operate from a place of scarcity, a context that runs counter to the energy of abundance. Money, like all life, is an energy exchange. You give yourself over to whatever you're passionate about, and what comes back to you is energy in the form of monetary compensation. You attract more or less of what you want by how you choose to interact with it, as well as what you believe about yourself. Do you truly feel you deserve what you're asking for? Are you worth it? How you answer impacts what comes your way. What you focus on expands. If you focus on the goodness in your life, you create more of it.
I started actually doing affirmations, and it was something that my mom talked to me about when I had no idea what they were. But she said, because we are Christian and we really believe that words have power. And I know that this is like many people that believe this, but it's like one of the biggest lessons in the Bible. And so she broke it down for me, and she was like, if you keep calling yourself ugly and fat and not worthy and all these things, then that's exactly what you're going to be. Yes. So she said, change your words. And that's what I had to do. And it really helped me as well. And it was the words that I made for myself were, I am bold, I am brilliant, I am beautiful, I am worthy of all, I love you. And I love you was the hardest one of them all. And it wasn't like I just said these things and overnight it like bada bing, bada boom, like, oh, I'm a Miss Confidence. It was.
When I was writing the book, I found it in my diaries. I wrote this I was in the top bunk of my fraternity house at college, and I never looked at it again. I forgot about it. But here I find it however many years later, and I look at it and I go, son of a bitch, you have achieved or are in the midst of achieving all 10 of those. So obviously you actually didn't forget you wrote it, did you, Matthew? 10 goals in life, September the 1st, 1992. Number 7, stay close to mom and family. Number 8, win an Oscar for Best Actor. Number 9, look back and enjoy the view. Number 10, just keep living.
So I got to try to change myself to make life better for me. You really deal with what's going on inside of you, and instead of looking at, and blaming everyone for what happened. Yes, they might have contributed to it, but I can't make them pay for it. So I got to figure out what's going on with me to make my life better.
That you really have learned to forgive yourself, forgiven those who harmed you.
Right, life goes on.
Yeah.
Right.
8 Grammy nominations.
Right. The breakthrough is the self-love. What you think about yourself, what you believe about yourself, and what you believe. When you believe negative things about yourself, that's what's going to happen. When you believe positive things about yourself, that's what's going to happen. I believe that I deserve way more than what I believed I deserved in the past. I believe that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm loved, I'm protected.
All of what we're seeing here was an idea first, and then somebody spoke about it. And through speaking to people about it, and things happen. So when you put your ideas to words, you put it out there in the world, and it starts to affect others. So far, in my observation and experience, I think that people in general have much more in common than they have in difference. Religions have much more in common than they do in difference. When you talk about the morals of religion and live and let live, they all have much more in common. So I think it would be a great idea of one day having people research and see what are all of the things that they have in common. What do we all agree on? And
do you believe that you are worthy of happiness? Do you believe that happiness, success, abundance, comfort, fulfillment, peace, joy, love is a part of your birthright? Is that what you believe, or do you believe something else? Because you will manifest the life that you believe. I've always known that no matter what my belief is, I'm going to be all right. Why? Because I have that faith of a mustard seed.
Khalid, what does that sound?
It's honestly insane, and I look back and I think about where I was 3 years ago. I was in high school, I was a junior, and I was on Twitter and I tweeted, I want to go to the Grammys one day, and then 3 years later, I'm 5-time nominated.
5-time nominated. Literally, since you've been here, 6 Grammy Award nominations, 3 American Music Awards, sold-out arena tours. I mean, you have blown up, man.
But it was all about just being positive, keeping positivity within me.
But early on, you collaborated with Billie Eilish.
Oh, my God.
I mean, how cool is that? And
we made Lovely, when we made the collaboration, it was in her brother's room. I feel like we believed in it the moment that it came out. I knew it was gonna be huge, and I'm so proud of her success.
I've learned so much about myself, like learning how to handle my emotions and my thoughts, and just I don't know, really knowing myself and knowing what I want, and how sometimes what gets in the way of what I want, which is, for everybody, I feel like it's kind of themselves.
What's the one thing that stresses you out the most?
I think for me, which is something that I'm really, really working on, and I've been really outspoken about anxiety and whatever. I think it's that, and I feel like I've realized, especially in the last couple months, I've taken a big journey in realizing that that's totally, the brain can change, and you can really work to improve that. And I feel like I'm really working on changing that, and I see a huge difference, which is actually something that I want to be more outspoken about, because I know a lot of my fans struggle with issues like that. But I think like training of the mind is like the most important thing, because that's what you have for the rest of your life.
I used to write notes to myself, little letters to myself, and put them on the desk saying, you know, you can do anything with faith. You can move mountains, and trust and let go and all that sort of thing. You know, and I used to just throw myself into it. And then when the negatives came to my mind, I would put positive sounds in my head. You know, I'd say I can do it. You know? And I used to meditate and visualize myself doing it.
My last question for you, I'm a big fan of manifesting. Can
Me
you
too.
Can you tell us something that you're manifesting? It could be something that you're manifesting. It could be personal,
Right.
or it could be global, whatever. It's
Okay,
up
well,
to you.
not to brag, but my intuition's on fleek. One time, I manifested that I'd meet Pharrell, and I met him the next day. But that's very material and direct. But whenever it comes to manifesting, I have a broad one, and then I have a really specific one. I think, like, I wish abundance on the world, and at the same time, I think it's from really operating from a sense of purpose. And your purpose can be different, and it can change every single day. It can be the same for years, but I think when you operate from a sense of what you want to achieve in the world, then it's really motivating in terms of how you remain, I guess, quote unquote, true to yourself. And it still gives yourself the room to grow.
Reality you're trying to create. But I do believe in, you know, I used to walk around saying, all my beats are $1 million a beat, and I'm a billionaire, and I just went platinum 8 times. These are all things I would say like that had not happened, and they were insane. Me and Bugis, my best friend who started Diamond, he put out a project back in 2011, and we called it 2020, and I produced the whole thing, and we did the entire album from the perspective of 2020. So it was like we're on Rolls Royces, and we just made millions. Like, it was all just distorted reality, but it ended up becoming reality. So I do believe that if you want to change your reality, you have to already believe that it is your reality. But obviously, if you like are trying to do something evil or ill intent, it's not gonna be great for everyone.
To embark on your world tour,
Yep.
which is sold out.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
It
like,
is crazy.
I mean, looking back a few years ago, did you think you would be heading out on a world tour?
Honestly, like when I first started making music, I was like so young and naive, and I just thought like I made a song and I'm like, this is so sick, I'm gonna put it out and like everyone's gonna hear it. And like that was when like Post Malone was first like becoming big, and I'm like, I'm gonna be bigger than Post Malone. And like, and I love Post Malone, and that's kind of like, it was just like, I just thought I was always gonna be, every song was gonna be the biggest hit.
Right.
And obviously it wasn't. Like, it was like my first song, why would it be? But I kept having that mentality. And so I think just like law of attraction, I kept speaking it into existence, and I put the work in that eventually like I had a song like Moonlight did really well. Then It's You was like my first kind of like world kind of big song. Now I have this new song, and it's like, for any artist, like you have to believe in yourself before the world believes in you,
Right.
for it to kind of come. So yeah, I kind of did see it coming.
Congratulations
But
on everything.
This is my most prized possession. Had this thing like dollar in a dream. So it's like you have a dollar and you have a dream. I was like, this is my dollar, and when I make my first million, I'll frame it. And I always kept it in my wallet.
A lot of time I make predictions of what I'm gonna do before the fight. That makes me nervous because I've gotten so good at it until people really look for me to do it. I said man's gonna fall in round 5. Like I predicted 5 round with Henry Cooper here. He was stopped in 5, but it was on a cut. Usually when I'm on a spot with predictions, it worries me because some people really gamble and bet money on the rounds I say. And I mean it, but I put emphasis on it. And then a lot of time I've been lucky enough to predict 17 times what round. I missed 4, 17 of them I predicted, which is almost a miracle.
Can you predict other things as well, apart from boxing?
A lot of things that I feel is going to happen, like a lot of people, and and a lot of times I feel a lot of things, but I can't. I'm sure we all have this built-in radar where we predict, or we feel something's going to happen, and when it happened, we just say, I knew this, but I just didn't say anything about it to nobody, but you knew it.
Martin, world champion, and Guy Berryman, Aka the Coldplay, are going to go on to be such a huge band. This will be on national television within 4 years. 4 years. It's now the 26th of June, 1998. By the 26th of June, 2002, the Coldplay, or the band, whatever they're called then, will be known just all over, man. We're going to be so proud. Don't you forget.
People, look, you had confidence, and you were absolutely right. That was 20 years ago.
I think we dreamed big without thinking it might be possible. Half felt it, but also thought I was saying something ridiculous.
Yeah, but don't you think that because you said it, I think that we all create our reality by manifestation. I mean, we all want something and we take steps in that direction and we can make things happen. Don't you believe that?
Yeah, definitely.
And don't you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was all part of it.
I just believe that, you know, what you put out in the world, you get back. The energy you put in the world, you get back.
Luck. I heard people say I'm the luckiest man on the planet. I like to think I stay ready. A wise man once told me luck isn't some mystical energy that dances around the universe, randomly bestowing people with satisfaction and joy. You create your own luck. Gotta get in my zone now. There's gonna be no talking. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna think, and I'm gonna vision myself tearing this down. That's how you do it. You gotta vision it first. The truth about talent is, first, that it's God-given. When you want to unleash that talent, your mind lets it go. You know, because it's there. You have to have the belief that when you draw from that well of talent, that it's going to be there.
Study the greats and become greater. And be a scientist. Dissect. No matter what. I mean, I don't care if the whole world is against you or tease you or say you're not going to make it. Believe in yourself, no matter what.
No matter what.
Some of the greatest men that have made a mark on this world were treated like that. You know, you're not going to do it. You're not going to get anywhere. They laughed at the Wright brothers. They laughed at Thomas Edison. They laughed at Walt Disney. They made jokes of Henry Ford. They said he was ignorant. He didn't have a college degree because he dropped out of school. Disney dropped out of school. And I think God plants those seeds through people on the earth. And I think you're one.
I actually think that's something that even made this moment happen for us. So you've always been vocal on manifesting, law of attraction. How do you feel that's led you to this point in your career with your success?
I feel like it's the reason for my success. I remember the first time I ever truly started believing and manifesting is when I wanted to go to USC. So I wrote like a year plan to get myself to USC, and I followed all those steps. But I think writing it out is important. You have to. It's like, someone told me, like, cursive is a curse. And have you heard of that, Michelle? It's like print is like, I don't know. But when you write things down, it solidifies it. So I'm a firm believer of writing things down. I'm having that feeling right now of my life change. Yeah, I know my life's about to explode.
Experiences or the things that were awful at the time. There, you know, there's always the other side of the coin, and in my experience, I've cultivated only positive things out of the most negative experiences of my life.
Okay, so we talked about negative thoughts. Like if I get an idea, I obsessively loop on this one idea. So if it's even something that I don't like about myself, when I look in the mirror, anytime it goes like right to that. Things so minor. So like, what do you do when you're starting to get a little OCD on a thought that's not helpful?
I realized the quality of life that I want isn't in dieting and extreme exercising. It's just being happy. And so when I have a negative thought like that come into my head, I go back, like I said, I go back to my values. Body affirmations that like I used to tell people to do all the time. I used to be like, tell yourself you're beautiful and that you love yourself. And like, reality is you don't always feel that way. When I look in the mirror, if I can just go, I'm grateful for the body that's gotten me through every day of my life, no matter what I've put it through. I'm grateful for the health and strength that I have today, and it stops those negative
that you have for who you
are
are and how you are going to manifest your destiny. How many of us sit back and say, I don't know what I really want or how I want to go about doing something, so I'm just going to sit here and wait, rather than really actively listening to our intuition and to the intuitive voices that we all have and say, I'm going to make an affirmative choice, but rather than being stagnant and waiting for life to make choices for us. Turning your dreams into reality. For me, that means waking up every morning, getting on my knees, thanking God for a blessing of another day. All of us are brilliant. All of us are magnificent. Every single person. So it's greatness and brilliance isn't unique. It's common. The difference is that most individuals allow the fear to stop them from manifesting their greatness, stop them from speaking the truth.
I would ask you a question, because we just
had an interview the other day, and you said something that I sort of has stuck with me about what makes you afraid. And we were talking about this, and Denzel said, I don't know if you remember saying this to me, but you said you attract what you fear.
Right.
And since we spoke, I've just been thinking about that all the time. What are you afraid of? And do you agree with that comment that you attract what you fear?
Apparently, I'm afraid of great actors. Well, I mean, positively and negative. I mean, you attract. Not just what you fear. You attract what you feel, what you are, what you attract. What's on your mind?
It's like
exactly.
the law of physics. I don't know how anybody can disagree with that. It's just ask any physicist; they'll tell you. That it's
Lauren
true.
London, that's you?
Yeah, that's my girl.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
At a
Man,
red
I
light?
had done an interview years ago when I first came in the game, and I said, I'm going to get that girl. You know what I mean? And so,
And then
you know,
how long from there?
That was probably like 09.
Hey, man,
You know what I'm
so
saying? Yeah, that was
whatever
like
plans
09.
you have, you know exactly like
I
what
stick to the script, man.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm
Get
saying?
it?
Nah, but that one thing I noticed about myself when I like, I think thoughts is powerful in all facets. Because even my career, even my life, things end up turning out exactly how I visualized them. Not in this time frame I expected. You know what I'm saying? You always want shit to happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had clear visions. Obviously outside of my girl, I just mean in music and hustling and just how I viewed myself as an adult when I was a young dude coming up. And your thoughts powerful. That shit, come to life if you stick to your script.
I believe in like magic. I believe in moods. Like, I think weird. Like, I'll listen to like a song that I did last year, and I'll be like, I'm in New York in a Rolls Royce. And then it'll be like 2 years later, I still haven't put the song out, but I'm really in a Rolls Royce in New York. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so I'm big on like speaking shit to existence. So I had to learn like not to say stuff like, if I go to prison, I'ma still be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to learn how to back away from that type of stuff and gangbanging because I feel like I really speak a lot of stuff to exist. I speak so much stuff to exist, and sometimes I forget. Sometimes it be in my old music. I be like, what the fuck? I really would like. Next year I'm gonna have rings on every finger, and next year I really got rings on every finger. But I done forgot. But yeah, I'm big on that. It affects my life so much.
My situation was like I always knew I was supposed to be, somewhere big. I just felt like the trials and tribulations were a part of it, and I always knew like no matter how hard it was, I knew it was God's plan. Like 'cause I know I'm ordained to be here. The music is definitely prophetic. There's things that I've said in the music years ago that I see come past today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a firm believer of speaking things into existence.
Same here, brother.
I'm a firm believer of, you work and the universe gives back to you. I'm a firm believer in that stuff. You feel me? In the law of attraction, of course, and God as well. But I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction and the way things come.
This is literally all I asked for. I'm 100% blessed.
Okay.
I literally asked. I used to tell myself, I will walk into Lennox. I said one day I'm walking here and people are gonna stop me for pictures, and now that's what it is.
That's great.
And that was probably like 10 months ago.
Right, because it ain't been that. That's what I'm saying. It ain't been that long. It is. It's all of a sudden blown up like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The power of what you say in your records. I try to always talk about positive things because I seen it happen. I know the strength of it.
You gotta understand, I used to walk around, I was telling Prez the other day, I used to walk around and just talk to myself. I I'm walking from one job to another, and I would just be talking to myself, talking about, the things that I dreamt and I wanted to be. And this right here goes out to all them people, y'all know who y'all are, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Talking to yourself and talking about how you want to get it and what you want to be. And this is something that's big. I'm one of the crazy ones, but there's a lot of people that understand that that dream is so heavy and bubbling in you. It's like you got to get it out, and sometimes it's so crazy you're afraid to talk to other people about it. So you actually, I'm not saying I was walking down the street like actually talking. I'm talking about in my head. I just feel like I'm a living testament to people. If you dream and you believe, you could accomplish anything you want to accomplish.
The question is, are you just gonna look at this video and decide, wow, that was some powerful, and do the same thing?